No gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian this year? Did you know that you could have all 4 seasons in one trip during a winter holiday trip to Walt Disney World? Not to mention, we got to go over all of the closures at all 4 parks. Let's get you ready to travel to Walt Disney World for the 2025 season for November and December. Traveling to Walt Disney World for the holiday season is the definition of nostalgia. It is just the vibes, the feel, everything is so magical in the parks. Not to mention, it is one of my favorite times of year to travel because of the weather. In November, you are going to find weather in probably about mid-80s going down to like high 60s. My biggest tip for traveling in November is have at least one layer, at least one sweatshirt, one sweater, something like that. For the most part, during the day when the sun is out, you can dress in like summer attire, your dresses, your sporty dresses, your t-shirts, your tank tops, all of that. But as we get into like the middle of November and then on, it will start to cool off like first thing in the morning and then in the evenings. But it is like chef's kiss at this time. I cannot tell you how much I love being in the parks during this time of the year. It is just so much more enjoyable. You can think, you can be there all day. There's just something about going in November. December, though, is whenever Mother Nature decides to have a sense of humor. And I know that you probably hear me say this over and over and over again, but she really does. You can literally have all 4 seasons in one trip. So let's go over how to dress according to the temperatures. So you will more than likely be in like the mid 70s and mid 60s for most of the month. And if you are in those, then again, you really just want to have that one layer. During the day, when the sun is out, you can get away with tank top, shorts, dresses, and things like that. But the minute the sun goes down, you are going to need an extra layer. And I always do this as I start talking about the weather. We need to back up for just a second. Okay, as we start talking about the weather and the temperatures and how cold it gets, I live in Texas, so my weather is about the same as Florida. So whenever I'm talking about cold, your definition of cold and my definition of cold might be a little bit different. So just know I will go over like temperatures and then like the amount of layers that I wear for each of the temperatures. So back on track. So again, if you have weather in the 70s and the 60s, again, first thing in the morning and then as soon as the sun goes down is whenever it will kind of get a little bit chilly. There's just a little whoo in the air. And again, for the most part, you can get away with still like shorts, but a sweater or a jacket or a sweatshirt, which is what I usually do. I usually just have it wrapped around my waist and pretty much good to go. If we are getting into the weather in the 60s and the 50s, then I do start putting on actual like longer layers. So at least a pair of pants, a pair of sweatpants, a pair of joggers. I will sometimes have just a long sleeve shirt is usually just enough, especially like during the day. But you will need that second layer in the mornings and in the evenings. So again, a sweatshirt, a sweater, things like that. And that is for the weather in the 60s and the 50s. Now for me, anything below the 50s, you're gonna need like layers. So normally, the coldest that I have been at Walt Disney World is in the 40s, and that was cold. And what I do during that time of the year, whenever the weather is in the 50s, is I will have like either long johns on or leggings on underneath a pair of pants, a pair of sweatpants, anything like that. So on the bottom, I will have 2 different layers on. On the top, I will normally have 2 to 3 layers on, just kind of depending on how cold it's going to be. So I will usually have either a t-shirt or a long sleeve base. On top of that, then I will have a sweatshirt. I'm a sweatshirt kind of girl more than I am a sweater girl. So more than likely you're going to see me in sweatshirts. And then if it is just, that chill in the air is just a little bit too much, then I will have a jacket. Now I'm still working on my jacket game, my Disney jacket game. I do have a denim jacket that I wear that I love to wear and I only get to pull out at certain times of the year. And it isn't exactly warm, but it is just another layer. So I will say you may need just a little bit more coverage with the base layer, the sweatshirt, and then the actual jacket. Now again, when we get into anything in the 50s or below, don't forget about your hands. Grab some gloves, make sure that you've got some gloves. Also during this time of the year in December, I always bring a packet of like those hot hands that you can like hold in your pockets and keep your hands warm. Also, do not forget to bring anything to cover your ears, whether that be a beanie, whether that be earmuffs or anything like that. If you have kids in strollers, make sure that you are bringing a blanket. And I'm not talking one of those like thin, cheapy fleece blankets. Make sure that you bring a blanket that can fit them, but has some warmth to it. Two things. When you're standing there like waiting for fireworks, waiting for parade, the chill in the air can be quite cold. So you may want to like wrap them up, or if like it's really windy and it's kind of piercing, you can put the blanket like over a stroller and just give them a place to sit and have like an extra barrier on them so that they can, you know, be good to go and then watch the fireworks and the parade. So again, those are like the different layers that I will put on during December. Another thing that I want to go over that's weather related but not necessarily clothing related when it comes to the temperatures is whenever you're in, especially like December mainly, whenever it really starts getting colder in the evenings, Magic Kingdom specifically will stay open later, like 11, 12, 1 a.m. And during that time, it is quite chill. So sometimes you'll get a little sniffle, sometimes you'll get a little scratchy throat, you know, just being out in that cold air. So bring medication, your NyQuil, your allergy medicine, you know, stuff like that. Mucinex, that's another one. Every time that I travel during the winter months, I have that on me just in case. Having that medication and taking it at night when you're sleeping just takes that edge off and helps you not get so sick in like during your trip whenever you're out in the cold air and you're not used to being out in cold air like that, you know, on a normal basis. At least I'm not here in Texas. I know other people that live in colder climates, you might be used to it, but for me, the minute that I hit cold air is whenever like everything starts to come up. So having that medication on your trip will help and just like keep sickness, you know, at a minimum. Closures are happening all over the Walt Disney World parks right now. So let's go park by park and go over all of the things, rides, areas, lands, all of that are either being refurbished or have been closed permanently, because there is nothing worse than prepping and planning for a vacation and talking up a certain ride experience or land only to find out that it's closed on your trip. So let's go. Animal Kingdom is first. Cali River Rapids, which is located in the Asia section, is closed and is currently closed right now, and it is going under refurbishment. It's a yearly refurbishment. It just got moved up just a little bit. So it is closed currently and will be, and since we're just talking November, December, at least until the end of the year. As a reminder, Dinoland USA is pretty much extinct at this point. They have closed just about everything. So the Triceratops Spin is no longer there. The Dino Games back there is no longer there. Restaurantosaurus is no longer there. The snack carts are back there are no longer there. Let's see here. The Boneyard is no longer there. So basically the only thing left in that area is going to be the ride Dinosaur. And we will have that until early 2026. So as you are going into Dinoland USA, just know that you're going to be walking up to a whole bunch of walls, and the only ride back there right now is Dinosaur. Something new that's going to be opening in Animal Kingdom is going to be Zootopia Better Zoogether. So this is going to be a new like attraction. So it's actually a show, and it's going to be located when you're looking at the Tree of Life a little bit to the right hand side is going to be the entrance to this, and this is taking over where It's a Bug's Life used to be. So be looking for that newly open experience to be happening on November 7th. In Epcot, we only have one thing that will be closing, and it is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It is getting moved from a 3D to a 2D attraction, so this is going to be interesting. It will be closed from November 10th until November 13th of 2025. In Disney's Hollywood Studios, we had 2 full sections of the park closed down this year and will be permanently closed. So first off is going to be Animation Courtyard. Back there used to be the Star Wars launch bay. That is where you could meet Darth Vader, Chewbacca, and BB-8. You could also meet back in that area Pluto, Doc McStuffins, Vampirina, and Fancy Nancy, and then also the Disney Junior Dance Party. So all of that is now permanently closed. Darth Vader's meet and greet has been moved near Star Tours. Chewbacca's meet and greet has been moved to Galaxy's Edge near the Millennium Falcon. And if I am not mistaken, the meet and greet for Pluto, Fancy Nancy, Doc McStuffins, Vampirina, that has all been moved to Echo Lake, which is like around that area right there. The second area that has been closed in Disney's Hollywood Studios is the Muppet Courtyard. So that means no more Mama Melrose, no more Pizza Rizzos, and then also no more Muppet Vision 3D. That entire area has been closed and is permanently closed. And then two other things that were just recently announced for closures for Hollywood Studios is the Vacation Fun short film theater. That has been closed, and all we know right now is that it will open later this year. And then secondly is going to be the live action The Little Mermaid meet and greet. Her meet and greet is now being moved over to like Echo Lake near 50's Primetime Cafe. And lastly, Magic Kingdom. Okay, first, the Walt Disney World Railroad. It no longer goes all the way around the park like an attraction. It is now more just a form of getting from point A to point B. So you can get on at the train station on Main Street and then go to Fantasyland and then Fantasyland and to Main Street. And that is all it is. So it is just a back and forth form of transportation. In Frontierland, Big Thunder Mountain is closed and will be closed since we're just talking about November and December all the way until the end of the year. It is opening up in 2026. We don't have an actual date yet of when that's going to be opening. In Tomorrowland, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is also closed down right now for a big like refurbishment and rehaul. So that's going to be coming in 2026. And then things that are closed permanently in Liberty Square, the riverboat has been permanently taken out, and then also Tom Sawyer Island. So you're no longer able to take a raft and go to the middle and, you know, explore all of that. All of that right now is behind walls. All of it. And then lastly, in Fantasyland, Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is a show, is going to be closed from November 1st until November 23rd. All right, let's talk crowds and strategies. Timing at this time of the year is everything. First and foremost thing that you need to do is if you only have one Magic Kingdom day, you need to make sure that you are not planning your Magic Kingdom day on a party night. Magic Kingdom will close at 6 p.m. and that means if you do not have a party ticket for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you are going to have to leave the park. That means you are not going to be able to see the nighttime parade, the nighttime fireworks, or anything like that. You're basically cutting your Magic Kingdom day in half if you are scheduling your only Magic Kingdom day on a party day. On the flip side of that, if you have multiple days scheduled for Magic Kingdom, possibly make one of your Magic Kingdom days on a party day because ride waits are so much lower on a party day. Number one, it opens like super early, and then also just people don't want to waste their Magic Kingdom day on a day where Magic Kingdom closes early. They want to be there for the entire day. So ride waits can be on the lower end. I also have a video of what it's like being in Magic Kingdom on a party day, and I will leave that link in the description box below, taking you through the day and then also like talking through a few things as I'm going through the day. So check that out if you are trying to decide, you know, how you're doing your park days. Another thing that I want you to be prepared for in Magic Kingdom, if you are planning on watching the nighttime parade, which is the Disney Starlight Parade, and the Happily Ever After fireworks show in Magic Kingdom, I need for you to know that on the nights where Magic Kingdom is open for a full time, so many people are coming in to watch that entertainment because it's the only time that they can. So what that's going to do is that is going to make Magic Kingdom at night that much more packed when it comes to grabbing your spot to watch that entertainment. So I was there for the Halloween season. I will be there for the second 2 weeks in November. So I will have a lot more like insight for the holiday season. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram as I take you like in real time and giving you like tips and tricks while I'm in the moment. But what I'm trying to get at is if you want to watch these two things and you want to be on Main Street to do that, you are going to need to grab your spot at least an hour and a half before that first parade begins. Now, there are two Disney Starlight parades. One is at 8 p.m. and one is at 10 p.m. But so many small details come with that because even if you are trying to watch the fireworks and watch the second parade, Main Street specifically is still packed from all the people that watch the first parade and the fireworks. So getting in to just watch the fireworks and the second parade, you're gonna have to be like really maneuvering yourself through the crowd, and it's going to be even harder if you have a stroller. So I just want you to be prepared for how packed it's going to be. Do not expect to be able to just at the last minute stroll up and get a spot. It is not going to happen that way for you. So the more that you're prepared for that and you have other options, the more enjoyable being in Magic Kingdom is going to be and seeing that nighttime entertainment. I will say, so the Disney Starlight Parade specifically starts on Main Street and goes through Frontierland. So if you want to forego all of the crowds like on Main Street, watching from Frontierland is a little bit better. Also with the Disney Starlight Parade, there's not a whole lot of like interaction like there is with the daytime parade, where really a lot of characters are like coming up and interacting with you. There's really only one character, and that's Tinkerbell. Other than that, everybody is like character-wise are on the floats, and the floats are huge. So you don't necessarily need to be like up close and personal. You can be like maybe 2 or 3 rows back and still be able to have a good view. When it comes to watching the fireworks, if you don't want to see the projections, or if you don't mind not seeing the projections, watch from behind the castle in Fantasyland. It is one of my favorite places to watch the fireworks from. Fireworks are going off all around you. The music is still piped in back there, so you literally, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. So you still have the feels of just all of the magical feels that you get from being in Magic Kingdom and seeing the fireworks and listening to the music. You just don't see the projections on the front of the castle. So just know that you have other options if you don't want to deal with the crowds. But I want you to be prepared for it, because this is the first holiday season that we are going to have a nighttime parade. And yes, it's just going to be that much more packed in Magic Kingdom on a non-party night. If you are staying on site, please take advantage of early entry. Being in the parks at that 30-minute beforehand, you honestly want to be at the parks an hour before that early entry time. It's getting to the point now where you're able to be let into the parks early and then start lining up at different places. If you are staying at a deluxe resort or a deluxe villa resort, if you are staying at a DVC rental or a DVC in particular, they have something called extra magic hours. On certain nights during the week, at certain parks, they get extra time in the parks after the parks have closed. So if you are staying at one of those resorts that has that perk, take advantage of it. I'm telling you, timing is everything. So like I said, timing is everything at this time of the year. If you ride things at the right times, then the waits won't be astronomical. So number one, first thing in the morning, like rope dropping, getting into the parks. It's getting to the point now where the parks are just opening and letting everybody into the park, whether you're an on-site or an off-site guest. Getting into the lands is what's going to look different for you if you are an on-site or an off-site guest. But Hollywood Studios specifically, especially during the busy time of the year, will open early. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour before early entry. So if you make any day your rope drop day, your early day, make it Hollywood Studios, because you can literally get in and get so many rides done before the crowds really get in there. And again, these are all for all of you early birds. I'm telling you, take advantage of that. All right, so those tips were for November 1st until December 31st. Now, crowds do fluctuate depending on the week that you are traveling. So usually the first 2 weeks in November are at the moderate crowd. So it's, still on the busy side, but it's doable. As we creep up and get closer to Thanksgiving, those crowds do uptick, and you just need to expect, more crowds coming in. Of course, Thanksgiving week is that high peak in the red. You need to have multiple strategies in place. You need to be ready for what you're about to encounter, which I'm going to go over those tips here in just a second. And then about 3 days after Thanksgiving, the crowds do start to taper off. That first week in December is like the sweet spot. It's one of my favorite times to travel. Number one, everything is done up at Christmas. Everything is officially ready and ready to go. Crowds have tapered off, so it feels like there's been a big drop and it's not as bad. And then also weather is just perfection. And then as we get into the second week and the third week and then the fourth week of December, crowds just uptick each week after that. If you have a ticket that you have to make Park Pass reservations for, get those reservations locked in. For Magic Kingdom specifically, that's going to be Thanksgiving Day. That is going to be Christmas Day. That is going to be New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve Eve. If we're talking about Epcot, that is going to be New Year's Eve. So for those that have an annual pass, for those that have military tickets, and anybody that bought tickets that do not have any dates associated with them, those are the people that have to make Park Pass reservations. If you have tickets that start on a specific date and end on a specific date, you do not have to worry about that, and you do not have to make Park Pass reservations. But I just want for those people that are going during the peak season to know that you need to get those Park Pass reservations locked in before the parks get full. For anybody that has traveled to Walt Disney World before, and you are checking off your bucket list to be there for Thanksgiving week, if you are checking off your bucket list to be there for Christmas week or New Year's week, because for a lot of Disney hardcore fans, this is a bucket list thing. I am telling you, you need to make sure that you are giving yourself extra time to order and get food, and then also get from point A to point B. During these holiday high peak crowd times, it is so much different than just going during like a moderate time. It's even way different than going for like spring break season. So just know that when it comes to getting food, if you are going to order up with a cast member with food during Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, and New Year's week, you need to expect a 30 to 45 minute wait time to get your food, especially if it's like in the heart of the day. Again, getting from place to place, even if you're in a park, getting, say, from Main Street all the way back to Tomorrowland, the streets are that much more packed for you to have to maneuver through. So it does take you a little bit more time to get from point A to point B. If you are in a park and you are going to another park for a reservation, or if you're going to a resort for a reservation, whatever it is, again, give yourself a good hour and a half almost of travel time, just because there are that many more people and you may have to wait just a little bit longer for transportation or just whatever it is. So just know that if you're going to be there for those 3 high holiday peak season, to give yourself extra time for basically everything. I sit here and I watch myself back, and I know that the intensity that you are probably feeling from me, and you're like, oh my gosh, did I make a really bad decision going this time of the year? No, you didn't. I'm just trying to make my point, and just, again, timing is everything, and being prepared for going at this time of the year means a make or break trip. And I'm very passionate about it because I want for you to enjoy being there during this time of the year, because it is absolutely perfection and magical. So I just get really passionate, and I just want to make sure that you are ahead of the crowd, that you have those extra tips in your back pocket to make your trip magical. So know that if you're prepared and you have the right mindset going in, you're going to have a fantastic, magical time. So, like I said, as I've been watching it back, and my intensity and my little bit seriousness about this, I'm like, okay, I need for you to know that this is doable. This is doable. Now the fun stuff, the holiday stuff. Walt Disney World, the official start date for the holiday season is November 14th. And basically what that means is just like everything across all 4 parks, Disney Springs and the resorts, will be fully decorated and ready to go for just like holiday stuff. Christmas is going to be everywhere. The last Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party is on October 31st this year, which means on November 1st they will begin decorating in Magic Kingdom, and things will begin to come up in stages. So first you are going to see like the garland go down Main Street, and then also the wreaths. After that, later, then you'll start seeing all of like the Christmas statues that will show up as you're coming into Magic Kingdom on Main Street, and then the Christmas tree. Again, everything will come up in stages, and then officially on November 14th, everything will be officially ready. Now, I will say Magic Kingdom will be ready a little bit before that, because in Magic Kingdom, during this time of the year, there is something called Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. This is an extra ticketed event, meaning that you need to buy an extra ticket to be able to go to this event. This event runs from November 7th all the way until December 21st. Right now, as of recording time, 7 parties have already sold out for this year. So if you are thinking that you're going to go to this party, do not wait to the last minute to get your party tickets. It will sell out. Ticket pricing for this will run $179 to $229 depending on whenever you are picking when you want to go. The party officially begins at 7 p.m. and runs until 12 midnight. However, with a party ticket, you can get into Magic Kingdom as early as 4 p.m. Now, I will be doing a separate video going way more into detail for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, so make sure that you are pushing that subscribe button and that notification bell for whenever that comes out. In Disney's Hollywood Studios, it also has a holiday party, and this is called Jollywood Nights. The first date is November 8th and runs until December 22nd. As of right now, the first party has been sold out, but this will also start selling out the closer we get to the parties. Ticket pricing for this will run from $159 all the way up to $199 depending on the night that you want to go. The party specifically begins at 7:30 p.m. and ends at 12:30 a.m. With the party ticket, you can get into Disney's Hollywood Studios as early as 5:30 p.m. In Epcot, on November 28th until December 30th, Epcot's International Festival of the Holidays will be happening. And this will happen in conjunction with your park ticket. So you don't have to purchase an extra ticket to be able to experience what goes on in this festival. Now, they will have like special holiday food booths. You will also be able to do like a cookie stroll, meaning that you can purchase different cookies from different countries, all around World Showcase. And then also like the entertainment that is happening is just like top notch during the holidays. So there is something called storytellers in each of the countries, and you get to learn how Santa is depicted in that country. It is just a wonderful, magical time, especially if you're like me and like Santa's your guy. Like, I love Santa Claus. Everything about Santa Claus I love. So to me, this specific festival at Epcot, it just lights my soul on fire because of it. As more details are announced and the menus are announced for the festival, I will make a video on this and giving you everything that you need to know for this festival. We are still just a little too far out to be able to give you like specifics at this moment. So again, make sure you're pushing that subscribe button and that notification bell. The holidays in Disney's Animal Kingdom, I know I'm going to be saying this about every single park, but is my favorite. I absolutely love the vibes in this park. All right, so number one, on Discovery Island, once you enter into Disney's Animal Kingdom, you are going to come over the bridge and what is called into Discovery Island. The Merry Menagerie puppets and the musicians are just incredible. I cannot express to you how insanely awesome it is to walk into Discovery Island and seeing all of these puppeteers and puppets during the holiday season, interacting with them, guests interacting with them as if they were live. Yeah, it is just so magical. And the music that is playing and just the entire energy of this area is just, oh my gosh, it is literally chef's kiss. At night, whenever you are looking around at the decor, all of the decor is natural and they have like little lanterns that are lit up all around. Oh my gosh, it is just so insanely beautiful. I really do love Disney's Animal Kingdom during the holiday season. Even Mickey and Minnie get in on the action for the holiday season. So this is one of the only parks that you see Mickey and Minnie and they meet together. So they will still be in their safari outfits. However, they will have like Christmas touches to them, whether that be a scarf, whether that be like some mistletoe out of a hat or something like that. But they will be dressed up in holiday attire during the holiday season. This is also the one time of the year that Animal Kingdom actually stays open long enough for it to be dark. So at night on the Tree of Life, there is something called the Tree of Life Awakenings Holiday Edition, and it is just a sweet projection show that is shown on the Tree of Life. This isn't something that you actually need to sit there and like get a spot for. Once it turns dark and dark enough to be able to show on the Tree of Life, it will run basically continuously, and as you are just like walking through or walking out of the park, you can be able to just stand there and stop in front of the Tree of Life and just watch it and then, you know, go about your way. But it is awesome. It is very sweet, and I dare you not to cry. But I love this time of the year because you can finally be in Disney's Animal Kingdom at night. Along with whenever you're going through the lands, the way that like Asia is lit up during the holiday season is just spectacular. Also, the way that they decorate in Africa is also really, really cool whenever they use like actual like bike spokes and they make like handmade trees out of it and the lights that are on there. So the way that Disney's Animal Kingdom is decorated for the holiday season is just perfection. Also in Epcot during the holiday season, we will have one ride, which is the Living with the Land ride. We'll get a holiday overlay. So you will see like Christmas lights that are put in here and just like Christmas decor. Also the narration that happens through the ride will also change during the holiday season, but it is absolutely stunning to ride at night. So if you are like a holiday light person like I am, this is a not to miss ride to ride during the holiday season. And then also at night, you will also see Spaceship Earth, which is the big, huge ball, light up each night and just like play different songs and be in like the Celebration Gardens, which is basically behind Spaceship Earth in that area, and just sitting down with a nice drink and just listening to the music and watching Spaceship Earth just light up is just absolutely breathtaking. In Disney's Hollywood Studios, you are going to see vintage Christmas. Again, my favorite. I love it. Yeah, you're going to be able to see statues throughout. Sunset Boulevard is going to be all lit up, and there's going to be a huge Christmas tree in Echo Lake, not to mention Gertie, which is the huge dinosaur in that area, also has a Santa hat and an ornament hanging down. So Disney's Hollywood Studios is absolutely stunning during this time of the year. Toy Story Land also gets in on the action. You can actually meet Buzz, Woody, and Jessie in Toy Story Land, and they actually have holiday outfits on, or like holiday touches to their outfits. And then there's also just like a few little pops of holiday decor throughout the land as well. For the first time in forever, Frozen Sing-Along has a holiday end tag at the end of the show. Olaf comes out and they sing like holiday songs from like the holiday specials that Olaf is in on like Disney Plus. So if you really like want to know all of the songs that they're going to sing, that's what you want to watch on Disney Plus, is the Olaf Holiday Surprise, if I am not mistaken what it's called. But that will happen in Hollywood Studios. Now, like I said, in Echo Lake, it is really going to be decorated, and that is where the main Christmas tree is going to be for this park. Every evening, right at dusk, there is a tree lighting ceremony. There is nothing better than hearing Mickey and Minnie's voice come over the intercom, counting you down to see the Christmas tree light up. It is one of my favorite things, and it feels like a tradition for me that I have to see every single trip. So if you love that kind of thing, like just seeing trees light up and just lights in general, like Christmas lights in general, it literally is like a 2-second thing, but it's just everything whenever you're there to want to feel the Christmas feels. Also at night on Sunset Boulevard, there's something called Sunset Seasons Greetings, and it is basically 3 little shows that happen on the Tower of Terror. Again, this really isn't anything that you need to like line up or get your spot for. Most people, whenever it happens, because it happens like every 30 minutes, will literally just stop in the middle of Sunset Boulevard where they are and watch the little show that happens. So like I said, projections will happen up on the Tower of Terror. There will be music that will go with it. And then after each show, it'll snow on Sunset Boulevard, which is one of my favorite things. Lasers will happen. So Sunset Boulevard during the holiday season is really fun to be on. So the 3 different projections that are going to happen are going to be like the Muppets Gingerbread House. There is also going to be the Mickey's Christmas Carol, which is my favorite. That is literally like my favorite all-time Disney special, is the Mickey's Christmas Carol. Then lastly is going to be the Toy Story Hotel. So again, each of them will happen roughly about every 30 minutes, and it's just a sweet little show and projection show that they do on the Tower of Terror. And then lastly, in Hollywood Studios, Hollywood and Vine has a character meal, and it becomes Minnie's seasonal dine during the holiday season. So Minnie, Mickey, Pluto, and Goofy will dress up in holiday decor, and each year their outfits do change. So you may see like Santa Goofy, Minnie's going to be in a beautiful dress, Mickey is usually in some kind of a suit, you know, that kind of thing. This does normally only happen for lunch and dinner. Again, this is a family style buffet kind of dining experience. So when your 60-day window opens up, and if you want this experience, you do want to jump on that and be able to get those reservations to experience meeting those characters in their holiday get-ups. And then lastly, for Magic Kingdom. Now, we did talk about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and I will say most of the like actual Christmas happenings that happen in Magic Kingdom only happen during the party. But there are a few things that will happen like for day guests during the day that other guests can experience if you don't have a party ticket. So first up, the Jungle Cruise turns into the Jingle Cruise. So each of the boats themselves, and there will be Christmas decor like within the ride, and then the corny jokes that are told during this ride tried become Disney corny jokes during the holiday season. It really is a lot of fun to listen to. Also at this time of year, there is an extra castle stage show, and it is called The Frozen Holiday Surprise, and it is narrated by Olaf. It is very cute. Again, all of the Christmas special Frozen songs will be sung like on stage, and some of those songs are like some of my favorite ones. So again, if you want to like know the songs that they're going to be singing on stage where you can see Olaf, Anna, and Elsa, then you want to make sure that you are watching the Christmas specials that are on Disney+. The other two things that are actually there all year round, but normally just during this time of the year is when they really get noticed, and it really means a lot more. You can actually write a letter to Santa in the Ye Olde Christmas shop. So whenever you come into the Christmas shop, it's usually sitting up against one of the window seals, and it is a big red box. There's usually a basket right there with papers and crayons, and you can sit there and you can write your letter to Santa and then actually mail it off. Also, right outside of the Ye Olde Christmas shop, behind, there's like a little courtyard, and there is actually a sleigh right there. And it is just a photo spot, just sitting there that most people walk by during the day. I have seen families get all dressed up in either Christmas sweaters or I saw one family one year that all dressed up like elves and took their Christmas card picture on the sleigh. So again, it's there all year round, but really only like stands out and makes sense during the Christmas time. So just know that photo spot is there. There is like a table and chairs in that little courtyard area, so you may need to like prop your phone and put the timer on to take a picture with everybody in it. There isn't usually a photo pass photographer there, but just know that, you know, if you want another little idea for a photo to be able to bring home, or a Christmas card idea, you have that spot. Disney Springs even gets on the action for the Christmas holiday season. So they have something what is called the Christmas tree stroll. So all throughout Disney Springs, there are different trees that are decorated, if I am not mistaken, by cast members. And you can actually do a free scavenger hunt. Now, the spot for wherever you get your actual scavenger hunt map changes from year to year. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram, because I keep you updated once I know where the location is to be able to tell you where that is. But like I said, it is a free thing to do. You can go up, you can get a map, and as you are walking through Disney Springs, you can actually like put the stickers in the corresponding spot where you see the different trees. And then at the end, you can go and get like a little special surprise. It's mainly like a little button that says the Christmas tree stroll. So yeah, that is just something that you can do, and the trees are absolutely stunning. And my favorite time to do this is right at dusk, whenever everything is beginning to come alive with lights. The trees are absolutely beautiful. Jack Lindsay's Hangar Bar becomes Jack Lindsay's Holiday Bar during the holiday season. They have a full holiday menu, not to mention with holiday drinks as well. Another just absolutely stunning place to go if you just want a little relaxing time. This is a first come, first serve, so you have to walk up. There are no reservations at Jack Lindsay's, so just know that going in. So if you're going to go like on a Friday or Saturday night, just know that it's going to be packed, because it is very popular. So I would suggest going like early afternoon and just like sitting out on the water and just enjoying all of the holiday music and the holiday food and drinks. And if you are going to brave Disney Springs during the holiday season at night, just know that Disney Springs lights up with entertainment and also like streetmosphere kind of entertainment for the holiday season as well. There have been like quartets that walk around and like play instruments. I've actually seen like live entertainers like on rollerblades that have been dressed up like snowflakes, just going through the crowd. In town center where the main Christmas tree is, it does snow every night. So being in Disney Springs is absolutely magical during this time of the year, but I will warn you, it is extremely busy and extremely packed. But if you're weird like me and you love that kind of energy, that's your place to be. Another thing that will happen at all four parks and then also in Disney Springs is you will be able to meet Santa. Now, depending on which park or which place that you want to meet him at, the line can get very long. Normally in Disney Springs, there's a virtual queue that you can actually enter to be able to meet Santa in Disney Springs. They have not exactly let all of that information out as of yet. So again, follow me on Instagram and I will keep you updated on that information as it gets announced. If you are looking for something to do, maybe on an arrival day or a rest day, or maybe on your departure day, your plane leaves really late, deluxe resorts will get in on like the holiday decor. Now, every resort actually is decked out, but the deluxe resorts will have gingerbread houses built. They will also have like snack stands where they'll sell gingerbread and specialty treats and specialty drinks. I will say this year though, however, the Grand Floridian will not have its huge, massive gingerbread house, only because of all the construction that is happening right now at the Grand Floridian. However, it has been announced that Disney's Contemporary Resort, Disney's Yacht and Beach Club, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Disney's Boardwalk Inn all will have gingerbread houses. Now, you do not need to be staying on site to be able to use Disney transportation to go and visit these. If you are staying off site, however, you will more than likely either need to pay and park at the TTC and use Disney transportation to get around, or you can park at Disney Springs and then get on the buses to the different resorts and be able to not have to pay for parking and go to the different resorts and see all of like the holiday and Christmas decor at those resorts if you are looking for something to do. Two last things that I want to talk about. First, if you have been to Walt Disney World before and this is your first trip during the holiday season, I need you to know that it is going to be very different walking up to the parks, because once November 1st hits, just like everywhere else in the United States, Christmas music is everywhere. And I mean everywhere. The parks, the stores, the resorts, everywhere. So whenever you walk up to like the different parks or to the resorts, all you're going to hear is Christmas music. And you already hear that at home. So it isn't going to give you those butterflies and tingly feelings like it normally would, say, if you're like walking up to Magic Kingdom and you hear the Magic Kingdom music. So again, this is just for those that are going for the first time during the holiday season that have actually been to Walt Disney World before in an off holiday season. I have experienced this the first time that I went during the holiday season. My son experienced this for the first time whenever he went to the holiday season for the first time 2 years ago. So I just want you to be like mentally prepared for how you're going to feel whenever you do walk up to the parks and to the resorts and all you hear is the Christmas music and not necessarily the music that goes with each of the parks. If this is your first time visiting Walt Disney World and you are going during the holiday season, know that an off holiday season trip is totally different. So do not make this holiday trip your one and done trip. You can have so many different types and feels and kind of experiences at Walt Disney World just depending on the different times of the year that you go. The holiday season is just like energy levels are high, crowds are high, everything is like up here. And there are trips where it can be just a little bit calmer and a little bit lower and just a little bit different. So just know that if this is your first trip and you are going during the holiday season, don't make this your one and done. For those of you that are braving New Year's Eve at the parks, know that Magic Kingdom specifically will actually have the New Year's Eve fireworks on New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve. Again, if you have to make park pass reservations, if you have that kind of ticket, you need to make sure that you get that locked in so that you have your spot in Magic Kingdom. I would not make, let me backtrack. If you are riding rides, like especially like on New Year's Eve, you need to focus on those as early in the day as possible, because as the day progresses and about 6 o'clock, I'm going to say 5 o'clock, about 5 o'clock is whenever the evening crowd people are going to start coming in, because usually Magic Kingdom will stay open until about midnight or 1 a.m. So people are going to start coming in and getting ready and getting their spot to be able to see the fireworks. When I tell you that Main Street is going to be packed with people for this night, and it's going to be total party vibes. It's going to be awesome. But just know that the amount of people that are going to be there, especially for New Year's Eve in Magic Kingdom, if you want a good spot on Main Street and in the hub, then you're going to have to get your spot super early. Also, do not think that like riding at the end of the night for things is going to work during this time of the year. Magic Kingdom is so packed with so many people because of this that strategy does not work on this day specifically. So just know that if you're going to try and ride things, try to ride what you want to ride as early in the day as you possibly can. Go back, take a break, and then come back and just focus on being there for New Year's Eve. So if you're thinking about getting decked out, dressed up, having all the light up stuff, do it. People get like decked out in Magic Kingdom for New Year's Eve, and it is so much fun to just get into the energy of it, to get in the fun of it. So do not hold back if that is what you want to do, because a lot of people are going to be doing it with you. Now let's talk Epcot. Epcot only has New Year's Eve fireworks on New Year's Eve. Again, if you have park tickets that need a park pass reservation and you are going to Epcot for New Year's Eve, then make sure that you have your park pass reservation done and made. Again, same thing for Magic Kingdom. If you want to ride anything in Epcot, try to do it as early in the day as you possibly can. Again, as the day progresses, that park is just going to get busier and busier and busier, and it is going to be like full on club vibes in Epcot whenever you start, especially going around in World Showcase. So just know that, especially if you have like little kids, yeah, it's going to be full on club vibes, massive amounts of people and different areas with DJs. Again, a lot of fun. The energy is high, but it is going to be definitely an adult vibe for Epcot specifically. I will also say in Epcot, if you have little ones that have any sensitivity to ears, you may want to have something to cover their ears for the fireworks in Epcot. Those fireworks are so incredibly loud, like you literally feel it in your gut. It is the most amazing thing that you have ever seen, but it is quite loud. When it comes to leaving the parks, if you possibly can, stay back for a good 30 minutes. You know, I usually say 10, 15, 20 minutes, kind of let the crowds disperse. There are so many people in the parks at night that once you get down there to try and either get on the ferry boat in Magic Kingdom, to get on the buses, to get on the monorail, the lines are going to be astronomical. So if you can, just try and hold back for as long as you can and let the crowds disperse out. It's going to be a lot more enjoyable if you have a scooter, if you have a stroller, to be able to maneuver through crowds, if you can hold back as much as possible. Same thing goes for the Skyliner. I have seen the Skyliner like for the 4th of July just stretch all the way back to the resorts, and it has taken like an hour for people to get from all the way to the back to the front. So if you can, just either like shop, just enjoy being in Epcot for that night if you're on a Skyliner resort or whatever it is. So again, just please hydrate, please be safe, drink responsibly, but have the most magical time, and a Happy New Year. So there you have it. There's my breakdown for traveling to Walt Disney World for November and December. I will be in Walt Disney World for 2 weeks in November. I am taking my grandchildren for 1 week. This is their first trip. I'm so excited to be like on the grandma end of this. And then the second week, I will just be there by myself. My parents will be there, but I will be in the parks by myself and just like working on the second half of the trip. So if you want to follow along, make sure that you are following me on Instagram, as I will be in my stories and just sharing all of the in-the-moment tips, tricks, and all of that for you. I have a lot more coming at you as far as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, Jollywood Nights, and then also Epcot's International Festival of the Holidays, and all the things that you need to know about those 3 things specifically happening. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you are pushing that notification bell as I take you all around Walt Disney World, giving you all the tips, tricks, and things that you need to know for your upcoming trip. I'm Terry with Creating the Magic. Have a magical day.